I think that many people think that General Mawa came, that Keke Napep came before Keke Mawa. In Lagos, we all know that it was Keke Mawa first before Keke Napep. So I want us to give our APC chairman of youth and women a rousing round of applause for the great work that he did. And his, the National Security Advisor is also here, General Babagana Mongonu, and his wife, Hajia Nafisha Mongonu. The APC National Woman Leader, Najia Sulamatu Uma Eluma, and all of the women leaders who are here. I want to especially recognize you as well. And my dear wife, Dolly Osinbajo. Our selfless volunteers, tireless canvassers, unrelenting supporters, friends, political associates, well-wishers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Just before I make a couple of remarks, we know that so many of our supporters, quite a few of them, lost their lives during the course of the campaigns. A few here and there, we cannot mention all of the names. But I want us to spend just one moment, to just stand for a moment of silence in honor of those who lost their lives during the campaigns. We thank the Lord for their souls, and we ask for comfort for all members of their families. In Jesus' name, amen. Please be seated. For me, this campaign was about the Nigerian people. And one of the things that I discovered, and I'm sure most of us know, is that our people are so trusting and so supportive of their leaders everywhere. I think that one of the major characteristics, the main characteristic of the Nigerian is how so supportive and trusting many of our people are. And they don't really ask us for too much. They've never really asked for anything that was impossible to do. And that's why, I'm sure for many of us as we went around this country, we realized the tremendous amount of work that there is to do and our capacity to do so much work. And what our people need, as as all of us discovered, isn't that much. As a matter of fact, I do not know any nation where the people are so generous, no matter how poor they are. I met a woman in Kwara State, in one of the near market, who gave us some vegetables. I mean, I thought that she wanted to sell the vegetables, but she was actually offering it as a gift. And I thought to myself, here is this woman who we're supposed to be giving trader money, 10,000, and she's giving a gift from what she was selling. That's just a typical Nigerian. I was walking past another woman in, I think this was in Kogi, I'm not so sure whether it was in Kogi State. And she, was shaking hands with a few of them. And she shook hands with me and gave me 200 naira. And I thought to myself, I mean, I'm the one who's supposed to be offering this woman something or giving her something. But she, there's another very elderly woman, and that was in several photographs that made the news, who pulled me aside, this was in Guadalajara and FCT, and said to me, young man, you need some prayers. And then she started to pray. And she prayed and prayed and prayed. And people just saw that she was holding my hands and praying and praying and praying. And I thought to myself, I'm the one who is supposed to be offering these people comfort, offering them succor, offering them hope. But they themselves are so hopeful They are the ones who are even offering the support, offering all of the comfort, and offering us all of their love and everything that they think that they thought at the time that we needed. So I just want to say that, first of all, on behalf of all of us who are here, to say a very big thank you to the Nigerian people for the contributions that they made to bringing us here. We visited many homes across the country. We did the house-to-house thing, and we visited very many homes. Most of those homes were homes of the very poor, but they were still very hospitable. They will still ask you, what will you eat and what will you drink? Even in those very, very, very poor homes that we went to, all of them were so hospitable. I remember an encounter in Idore. Idore is in Ondo State. A man was so excited that we visited him in his home. And he said, "This your government is the best I've ever seen." Then, he said all sorts of very nice things about the government. Thereafter, the local chairman of the APC in Idore then said to him, "But you are PDP, this man, you are PDP." The man said, "How can you say that? How can you say I'm PDP?" "Okay, I used to be PDP. From now on, I'm now APC." It just struck me that what we really need to do a lot more is to connect with the people that we govern. We need to really connect with them more. All that the people want is an opportunity for us to interact with them. And I think somebody who made a speech earlier said that we should govern in this same way. We should have a way by which everybody is involved one way or the other. One of the complaints that people made about our government is that we were not communicating enough, that people didn't even know what we had done. And I think that they were probably right. We did very well in terms of putting across our message during the campaigns, especially the 2015 campaigns. But thereafter, we seemed to have just slacked up, and over time, the opposition and several others began to get the better of us, especially on social media and even on radio. But all of that is going to change. Definitely all of that is going to change. And I'm going to take everybody who has challenged us on this matter, I'm going to take you all up, including the gentleman who has offered his services for communication purposes. We're going to take everybody up, because I think that this has to be a joint effort in ensuring that we put across our points of view. Everybody knows that this was not a particularly easy campaign, but I believe that God saw first the heart of Mr. President. Here's an honest man, and as I said during the course of the campaigns, even the worst enemies of the president admit that he's a man of integrity and he's a man who truly loves his country. In any event, there are very few Nigerians who would have been Minister of Petroleum, Governor of the whole of the Northeast, Head of State, not once, but twice, now thrice, and still just have one home in Kaduna and some place, very modest place in Daura there. Very few people are like that. But that's the sort of person that we have as president. When I looked at his assets declaration form, I was checking it in 2015, just when we came. I said to him, "Mr. President, I am so much richer than you, it's an embarrassment." He said, "But I'm only a soldier, you're a big lawyer, so you should have more money than me." And I think I can say to you that he's still perhaps even poorer than he was when I first saw his declaration of assets there. But we're all grateful to God for this great victory. But the real heroes, as you know, are all of you who are seated here today. We went out every day. We went out every day to campaign, to talk about what you believed about our government and what you thought this government could do for the Nigerian people. One thing that is clear to me is that your belief and your commitment was not wrongly placed. You are absolutely right that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari is the appropriate and right government for Nigeria at this time. And the simple reason why that is so is that today what our country needs the most is honest government. That's what our country needs the most, honest government. And I'll tell you why, as I repeated many times during the course of the campaigns, that our country is not short of ideas. We're not short of ideas. We're not short of projects. We're not short of money either. What we're short of is integrity in office. That's what we're short of. Corruption is the major problem that our country has faced, and once we're able to deal with it effectively, our country will turn the corner and be the great nation that it ought to be. I was saying to someone that this same president, President Muhammad Buhari, of the 4 refineries that we have in our country today, he built 3 of them when he was Minister of Petroleum. Today, then he built 3,500 kilometers of pipelines. How much has been added to it since then? How much has been added? So you don't need to be a great orator. And this was one of the responses I gave to people when they were saying, oh, the president doesn't talk, he doesn't need to be an orator. All he needs to do is to be a doer. And what he's doing today, and what we've seen today is that despite the fact that we're earning 60% less than previous governments, we are spending almost 8 times more in terms, especially for capital projects. We're spending almost 8 times more. Why? Because the president is not stealing the money. Simple. That's why we're able to spend more. And just in terms of achievement in infrastructure, we've got the Lagos-Kano rail. We've just commissioned the first phase, which is the Lagos-Abeokuta Ibadan. That's the first phase. And we're going to complete the Lagos-Kano rail. We completed the Itakpe-Warri rail after 35 years. It's been completed. Aside from that, even the Abuja light rail, the one within Abuja, which started in 2005, it's just been completed. For the first time, we put money aside to do the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has been practically abandoned. I mean, they will start and stop. They'll put it in the budget, but it will disappear. But today, it's there. And the money is there to complete it. You know, sometimes when I talk to my friends in the southeast about the second Niger bridge, it was commissioned in 2014, but it was not designed. There was no design. It was just commissioned. How does anybody do that? Today, the highest amount of money as a bullet payment made for any project that we've ever done was for the second Niger bridge. 33 billion immediate payment for that bridge. That's the highest amount of money that we've ever put as one single payment on any project. And on like that. We're going to start the Mambila project, put money aside for it. All of these projects are projects that the president himself, not just negotiated, but supervises on a regular basis. And that's the thing, we will get a lot of what needs to be done in this country will be done. A lot of the infrastructure we need to put in place will be put in place. And the reason why is because the president is not a thief. That's the reason. And that is just putting it very simply. Many people assume that government is complicated. No. If the man who is in charge is honest, everything that we want done will be done. Look at our social investment programs. Look at all those programs. I was saying to a group of people that today we're feeding 9.2 million children every single day as part of our school feeding program. We're paying for 500,000 MPAR beneficiaries every single month. We've given almost 2 million traders trader money and almost 500,000 market money. Aside from that, we're giving the poorest of the poor 5,000 a month. We're now approaching 500,000 and we're going to do 1 million. All of that has still not cost us 300 billion in 2 years. Yet, some people run a program called Sure P. Today, we can't point to a single beneficiary, and it costs 700 billion. 700 billion. We have not spent, on everything I've said, we still haven't spent 300 billion. We still haven't spent in 2 years. So it just tells you that it's not as if this business of doing the right thing, of governing right, is not rocket science. If the president is an honest man, as we have an honest man, everything we want done will be done. And I believe very strongly that with your support, with your continued support, all of what we wish, all of what we want for our country will be done. And by the grace of God, every one of the infrastructure projects that we want done will be done. Our economy will turn around, and we will see prosperity in this great nation of ours by the grace of God. Finally, let me just say that we're still not done with elections. On the 23rd of March, we still have some outstanding states. As you know, we're rerunning in about 6 states. And all of the efforts that we need to put into those 6 states, we still need to do. We can't afford to slack up and say the job is done. We still have some things to do. And just as we used to say, on those days also, is APC sack, Jagasama hard kasa. God bless you all. Thank you.